天去上海长宁区的与来自澳大利亚亨特利酒庄的 Keith 见面，和他聊一下巴罗萨谷的葡萄酒。
Keith, welcome to Shanghai.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
So we all know Australia is the new world wine country. Yeah, and tell us what are the main wine regions in Australia?
Yeah, we've got lots, Sarah. So we've got Coonawarra in South Australia, McLaren Vale, also Margaret River in the west, Hunter Valley, Yarra Valley, and the list keeps going on. But of course, the most important, the Barossa.
So let's talk about the Barossa Valley. It is the most famous wine region in Australia.
Sarah, I think there's a number of reasons. One is that we have the most magnificent terroir, just absolutely ideal conditions for growing red grapes in particular, and particularly Shiraz. It's just that the warmth of the conditions and the cooler nights that come through are just perfect. And of course, we've been doing this for a while, and my family is one of the first families to come to the Barossa in 1842.
1842.
Yeah, and there was 20 families who came out from Germany and started the Barossa. So that's 170 years of growing grapes. So we've got some experience.
Tell us about the Hentley Farm winery. So now you are growing, what are the varietals?
We have majority of Shiraz.
Shiraz, very famous Australian wine.
Absolutely famous in Australia, famous in the Barossa because Barossa's been doing it so well for over 100 years. So 70% Shiraz, about 20% Cabernet Sauvignon, some Grenache. And Grenache, yes. So it's a Rhone variety in particular, and a little bit of Zinfandel for some fun.
Okay.
And a tad of Viognier to blend in with one of our Shiraz.
Viognier is white.
Correct,
right?
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So mainly you have a red and a little bit white.
Correct, okay. And the little bit of white is a very little bit, less than 1%.
I read on Weibo that your winery won the Best Winery Australia 2015. Recently.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh, thanks very much.
Wow, tell us what's the big award?
It was actually from James Halliday, who's Australia's most famous, the best wine writer about Australian wines in the world. In fact, I actually happen to have a book I can let me show you.
Yeah.
For those, if you don't know James Halliday, so he's been writing about Australian wines for many years, and he is the best and the most accurate writer. Notice how thick this book is.
Yeah.
And so there are three.
It's like a brick.
Oh yeah, there are 3,000 wineries in Australia or thereabouts, and he writes about all of them. And he is the #1 in Australia. And so what he does each year is that he rates the wines, he rates the wineries, and this year he gives one winery #1. It was us.
And the winner is Hentley Farm. Congratulations.
The ultimate test of a great producer, a great winery, a great wine, all comes down to attention to detail. And the attention to detail that these guys have in their operation is extraordinary.
So what are we drinking, this one?
Yeah, we're drinking the 2011 Beauty Shiraz.
Beauty, wow. Why it's called Beauty?
Yeah, well, it's because it's soft, it's elegant, and it's a bit seductive.
Oh, sexy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Seductive. I understand why you call it Beauty.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mentioned earlier that we add that little bit of Viognier in
This
this
is the
wine.
one?
This is the one that has 3% Viognier or thereabouts,
A little bit.
co-fermented. Yeah, co-fermented, which means the grapes go in together at the time of crushing the grapes. And that 3% just allows the wine to be a little bit more elegant and give lovely aromatics that lift off and give that really sense of beauty.
Aromatic, I like that word.
And the other interesting thing about this wine, because I'll show you a wine called the Beast in a minute.
Oh, we got a beauty, we got a beast.
Absolutely. and so it's important to understand the difference between the two. And so the beauty being more elegant, it's down by the creek. And by the creek in our vineyard makes the wine be more of a cooler climate style, longer ripening, but softer tannins, softer flavours, and that's where the elegance comes from.
I love its richness, and it's rich and it's also subtle.
Oh, yes.
Different layers.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is really what we're famous for. Our part of the Barossa and certainly our vineyard is for rich flavours and soft tannins. And so the wonder you can enjoy them. You can enjoy them young. I mean, these wines can age for a very long time. You can drink them now, or you can lay them down and collect them. But
For how many years?
at least 10, maybe 20 years, and some of the other ones I'll have are maybe 30 to 40 year wine. But once again, it's all about enjoying them at any time in
Yes.
their life.
Yeah, you can open, just drink now, and then you actually this one, I like it. We can drink like this. Also, we can pair it with food.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, and of course we get a lot of practice of this at our winery because we have our own restaurant. In fact,
Oh, really?
actually rated #1 in South Australia,
Well, tell
I
us
might
about
add.
that.
But it's an amazing restaurant. We've got a great chef, and that allows us to produce amazing food matched to the wines. And so often we'll use a lot of red meats, and it might be
Steak.
steak
I love
and pork.
Australian steak.
But you might be surprised, we match a lot of fish to the beauty.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
it's surprising to
Well,
hear
the
that.
surprise is and importance is what the sauce is on the dishes.
yes,
And so if you have a nice rich sauce that has some good strong flavours, they can match perfectly well with these red wines.
Sounds wonderful. Let's cheers for the
Yeah,
beauty.
cheers.
And what's next?
The beast, of course.
Oh,
Yeah, the beauty.
Beauty
now
and the Beast.
Yeah.
Here we come, the
Yeah.
Beast.
Yeah, you can already imagine this is going to be a little bit richer and more powerful than the beauty.
Okay.
Not
this
quite
is,
as elegant.
oh, okay.
So you notice with this
The
one,
colour.
the colour will
is
be
different.
the colour will
darker.
be bigger.
Oh,
more
bigger,
intense.
darker. Yes.
So the beast has grown further up the hill. So you can imagine further up the hill the soils are shallower. They're deep by the creek, shallow up the hill. And we don't get the cooling air of the morning like the beauty block. It's because we're further up the hill. And so these vines struggle more. They end up having very small berries. And so all the concentration of flavour, Sarah, you know, is in the skins. And so if you have really small berries, you get much more concentration. And that's what the beast is about.
Wow.
Yeah, there's more there, isn't it?
Wow.
But there's a lot of wine.
It's very strong.
Yeah, it's very strong, but you notice still, it's a bit like the fable about the beast. It appears intimidating, looks powerful, but it really has a soft inside. And so even though there's beautiful rich flavours and there's lots of tannin, and there's what we call grippy tannin that gives you the beautiful mouthfeel, it still has, the tannins are still soft. And
Yes.
still very
Yes.
drinkable.
Yeah, it's still very smooth, but
Yes.
stronger. Yeah.
Yes.
And it's more powerful. Maybe this is more like a man.
Yeah,
You know,
correct.
the other one is like
Yeah.
more like
Yeah.
lady, more feminine.
We use almost 100% new French oak barrels.
What does that do? The
Well,
French-
that gives, because this one has a lot of oak tannin, and that helps with the grip, you know, that feeling of grip and power of tannin. This increases that more, and moves away from what we call primary fruit, which is just berries on your tongue, to this feeling of structure and this wonderful feeling that then the flavour will go through your whole palate rather than just parts. So it really
see.
broadens the palate, gives more complexity and sophistication, and the flavours are fabulous now, of course, being fairly young, being 2011, but they'll keep giving for another 20 or 30 years.
Cheers to the beast. Keith, we had two Shiraz. One is beauty, the other is the beast, the
Yeah.
pair. And that was wonderful. So what's next?
Yeah, well, just when you thought you couldn't get any better, hey?
It's getting
'Cause
better?
Yeah,
Wow,
they were
I'm so
obviously
lucky.
they were absolutely fabulous wines, the Beauty and the Beast.
Oh my God,
But
I'm
now
so
we're
lucky.
going right to the top. This is our top Shiraz called Clos Otto Shiraz.
Otto Shiraz.
And,
What does that mean, the name?
Yeah, so Clos is a French term which really often means enclosed vineyard. So typically means rock-walled vineyard enclosed. So this is a small block for us, just a single block wine.
When you say block, what does that mean?
Oh, just
Single
a very
block.
small parcel of land. Like typically it might only have maybe 2,000 or 3,000 vines. Just a small, maybe 1 or 2 acres, and that's all. And,
So it's very valuable.
very small quantities and very rare. Hence, yes, the wines can become very valuable because there's just not much of them left.
Right, it's a small quantity.
Small quantity.
Yeah, that's one thing about the boutique wineries, because you don't use mass production. You are not use a big machine. Everything is more, I would say, more human. Human taking care of the things.
Yeah, and you reminded me to talk more about Clos Otto. So part of it was enclosing. The other part is Otto, is because the original man who planted this vineyard, his name was Otto, Otto Kasper. And dear old Otto came out from Germany after he retired, over 65 years of age.
He moved from Germany to Australia to start his second life.
Correct, and obviously you hear Germans like working. Well, dear old Otto liked to work a lot. And so he came out and he planted this vineyard by hand. He had hoed out every single weed by hand because he believed in organic growing. And as you can see, it's got the wax cap.
Another thing I noticed is the label. It's not really paper. It's
It's a fabric, velvet. It's black velvet.
Oh, why do you use it?
Very sexy, hey?
Yeah.
Very
why
Austin
do you use
Powers
it?
like.
Austin Powers.
Oh yeah, I just think
Black velvet.
Yeah, well, I think it's a very, it's a great label, and I think when you have such a magnificent wine, you need to put some effort into the label.
You don't want it stands out.
You don't want to downgrade the wine by putting an average label on here.
So that's more expensive to
Absolutely.
produce.
Oh, very expensive to make. There is nothing at all. Very expensive label, very expensive bottle, very expensive cork, very expensive everything, and very low yielding. And
Let's drink it.
absolutely. Now, once again, Sarah, you'll find beautiful, rich flavours, but slightly different to the Beast. This will have very luscious flavours. It'll be silky. Still rich and powerful, but more silky with beautiful, lovely, soft tannins. These are less than 1 tonne per acre of yield, which is very low, and that magnificent concentrated flavour of grapes. So it's really grape flavour in massive concentration that you're feeling for lots of flavour. And that's what Australian wines do, that's what Barossa does, and now Vineyard does. Lots of flavour.
Lots of flavour, beautiful. This wine is... I feel it everywhere, in the front of my tongue, back of my tongue, on 2 sides of my tongue. It's all over, and the red fruits, the red fruits, and I like the sweetness too. I like this. The before that Beast is very strong. Very strong. It's kind of like powerful. I feel like if I drink a little bit more, I will get drunk or get into trouble. This one has a little. The fruity thing is like I can drink a little bit more, a few more sips.
Yeah, and I think I said to you, this is more about soft and silkiness, lusciousness.
Oh, that's why you use velvet.
Yeah, absolutely. And so this is, even though it has lots of power, it's about beautiful balance. And I know you mentioned it coats all your whole palate, you feel it everywhere. That really means wonderful balance. And so there's not one part of your mouth that's not has an amazing sensation.
I feel it everywhere. It's like a sensation.
But it's so easy to drink, isn't it? So you could drink this all day, all night. And you can drink it beautifully now, or this is a wine that in 40 years' time, dare I say, I'm not sure I want to leave it for 40 for me, but... You will have more luck with that. It will
but
age
it's
forever.
so good. We want to drink it now. Why wait?
Exactly. That's what I tell them.
Yeah, why wait? Just open and enjoy it right now at this moment. I had 3 wonderful, wonderful wines from Australia, Barossa Valley, Hentley Farm wineries, and then also got the chance to learn about your wineries, the background. I really enjoy the 3 wines. It's beautiful, beautiful. Thank you very much, Keith.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure, and I'm glad you enjoyed them.
Cheers.